The following program does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of the Liquid Green Health Show, Fred and Janet Cox.
And a very good afternoon to our listeners and viewers across Canada, the United States, and around the globe. We are the Coxes, and as usual, you're in for an hour of edutainment designed for information purposes only. And we always ask our listeners to please send in your comments. We love to hear, to read them. Let us know where you are listening to our broadcast from. If you are on YouTube, you can always send something in YouTube as well in the comment. You can send it to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. That's the Liquid Green Health Show on gmail.com. And as I said earlier, let us know where you're tuning in from. Now, this week, we are continuing our conversation.
Backed by popular demand.
Yes, we're continuing our conversation. And I wish that what I'm learning now about eye care, I wish that I had known that way back in my teens. I certainly would have had a lot better vision.
Teens, as a teen, you have
or
fantastic
even
eyes.
Yeah, but still, you need to know. No, but still, you need to know the information at an early age, so you would have an understanding as to what not to do.
Because even little kids, but then in your generation, I don't think TV was invented yet, was it?
Anyway, folks, on today's episode of the Liquid Green Health Show, we are thrilled to have back in our virtual studio Dr. Danielle Kalu Obuma, an experienced optometrist with over 10 years of experience in vision care. And today, as I said, Dr. Danielle is coming back for the second time. He was on last week. For those of you who did not catch last week's episode, you can always go to YouTube and type it in. Or if you have Spotify, you can type in Liquid Green Health Show on Spotify, and you'll get it there as well. All right?
Yeah. Someone called and she was saying, this is somebody in my contact list, but we've never met. So we talk, but we've never actually met. And so she said, I've been meaning to listen to the shows, and the timing is always so bad for her, which it is for so many people. So thank heavens you can go on
YouTube
and see the episodes, right? Because we know most of our viewers, most of those thousands of viewers, are with Reality Radio 101. But she went back and she viewed, starting with the episode last week. And she says, oh my God, I learned so much. And she says, I am practicing my eye exercises. The 2020 that you talked about, Dr. D, the 2020, she says, she says she has started doing that. And you know what? I have started doing that as well. And I even added I haven't gotten rid of my millions of glasses yet, but I've started also looking at the long range, because apparently one of the things we need to do is to look long range, back short range. There's so much we can do to take care of our eyes. I asked you last week if you had to give anything up, eyes or dementia.
That was a tough question. I really couldn't. That's kill me.
And nobody's going to
kill
do
me.
that.
Kill me.
It's an impossible choice,
Yeah,
right?
kill me.
So, Dr. Daniel.
Before we introduce, bring Dr. Daniel on, we will also be talking about a particular supplement that we use at the end, and we'll tell them, very good supplement. Yeah.
Right. So you talked to us about 2020, but what exactly is 2020 vision? I just want to welcome you. Before I jump into it, I should officially welcome you again. And as I said, we had so many comments of just how well
everything was explained.
Everything was explained so simply, and people are really appreciating the information. All right. So what we had wanted to talk about was you're not an optometrist, and we also last week explained the difference between an optometrist, ophthalmologist, which is the one who does all the etc., and the optician who makes the glasses. And you're an optometrist. So when we go in for that exam, they do puff, puff, puff here. They do this. You're following this. You're looking at the chart. Could you just walk us through that process, what some of those instruments are and how they're helping us? What is an optometrist looking for when we go on these exams?
And welcome back once again.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's nice to be back on the Liquid Green show. Last week was fun, and I hope we can actually even do better today. Now, going to your questions, straight to your questions, because last week we didn't actually have enough time. I hope we can cover
Right.
Yes.
So there are a wide array of eye exams an optometrist would conduct on a patient, but sometimes we tend to limit it to the patient's chief complaint. So if your complaint is more like a refractive issue, we focus more on tests related around refractive issues. For instance, we have like the visual acuity test. When you talk about those charts, when you talk about those charts, there's
the numbers and the letters.
Yes, we call it Snellen chart. It's used for visual acuity testing for far and for near. So for the near, you have the small prints. For the far, you sit at a distance and you're asked to read the letters at far. Now, the idea of that test is to know how well your vision is, how well you can actually see. Some people can only see the biggest letters, I think the 6/60. Some can see all the way down to the 6/6. Now, the chart is in meters and in feet because, you can actually have different measurement units. There's 6 meters, which makes about 20 feet, 19.69 thereabout feet, which is 20 feet. So when you talk about 20/20 vision, is your ability to see the chart. There's 6/6, which is like what the standard healthy eye should see. So your ability to see that letter on that 6/6 segment from 6 meters.
That's 20 feet.
Distance of the chart, which is 20 feet.
Okay.
That is considered that you have 20/20 vision.
Could you tell us
your vision is good.
Chart again? What's it called this day?
Snellen chart. Snellen chart.
Oh, Snellen. Is it something I could get to buy and keep home? Because I don't think I'm doing so well anymore. Can I study it and practice it?
In her case, you'll have to hold it 10 feet, not 20 feet.
Oh,
is that?
In her case, you'll have to put the chart 10 feet away, not 20 feet away.
First and foremost, I have to discourage this self-help mentality because it is not exactly good. Now, this is, for instance, what happens with the lenses. I think I didn't really hammer on this the last time. So when you get these prescriptions and it improves your vision, especially for near reading, near work, you think, okay, this is the perfect fit, but it could be a higher power, but simply because it improved the vision, you think this is the right fit, without knowing that it is going to hasten or the progression of the hardening of the nucleus of your lens, which in turn will diminish your vision at near. This what do I call it? Roadside prescriptions will only fasten that process up. But if you go actually for an eye test and you're given the exact your exact eye power, refractive power, the rate of development or advancement won't be as rapid as you just getting a random lens.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is important to always actually go for the test and not just. So talking about getting the Snellen's charts is a no-no. Don't do it. Go to an optometrist.
You're just making things worse.
No, but I mean, I could just practice, you know.
No.
You know, anyway, so again, that answers again. I know you answered it last week. It answers again the reason why we should actually get the real tested glasses as opposed to the store-bought ones that you can pick up wherever, right? That's the part of the reason.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 2020 is the
like a standard.
the standard, right?
Yeah,
It's the
for
average
good eye.
for everybody. So can somebody be better than 2020?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one can actually see, we call that the eagle eyes. One can actually see better than a normal, an assumed normal eye should see. One can see better than that. Yes.
What about kids? They're usually better at so many things because they're young and growing. What about kids' eyes? Should they be going for a test as if they don't have a problem? Should kids be going to the doctor for the eye exams just like older adults do?
Okay, I'll explain some concepts. I'll start from childbirth.
Okay.
So when a child is given birth to, the process of development of the eye is actually slow because a child needs full functioning of body organs for rapid development, for full development to come into place. After a few weeks thereabout of childbirth, you notice yellowing of the eyes, right? And it's generally known as jaundice.
Right.
It's simply as a result of the inability of the liver to process bilirubin, which is more like breakdown of red blood cells. So the liver is not developed enough to process that, which is why you get to see the yellowing of the eyes.
Yellow in the eyes. Okay.
Now, it normally clears off after a while.
Right.
So for a child, it's actually a process because the other parts of the body, other organs of the body, the heart, the lungs, and every other part of the body is actually also still developing. So you don't get full function. But also for parents who have one refractive challenge or the other, it is very advisable that at an early age, such kids' offsprings are tested. They undergo the eye exam, especially refraction, which is basically the visual acuity test, just normal test for far and near. So at every given age, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, there should be a distance a normal infant eye should see. So with those tests from time to time, one can tell if the eye is developing well or not. Remember also that early detection of these eye diseases or eye refractive challenges or what have you can actually help guide the doctor in assisting the child properly such that they can develop and the rate of progression of these eye diseases or refractive challenges won't be so rapid. So if it is caught early, it is the best way to go for every child.
Yeah, because I think in the research I found that the eyes actually, it's not till about age 11 that the eyesight is fully
11 or 12, something like that.
Right? But at what stage? This is just an aside. I don't even know if you know this. But when does a baby actually recognize like their parents with their eyes? When do they? I know the smell and taste and all that of the mom, but is there a time when this is when I know you're my mom and
yeah, basically what happens is this as the child continues to age, as the child continues to age, the organs continue to develop with constant, as a parent or a mom who continues to like take care of the child and all that, the eyes, as they advance, it becomes more like it's not just about now the eyes. Recognition is more of a factor of the brain.
Okay.
So we have to translate it as when the brain is reasonably formed,
Okay.
such that the child can understand, like, I've seen this face before, okay, I'm seeing it again. This face is a regular face. This person must be important to me. So the eye will only transfer the vision or what is seen to the brain for interpretation. So more of when the brain attains that level of maturity or development or growth, that is when the child can actually really tell that this is so this is my dad, or this is my mom, or this is someone who's very close to me.
Okay.
And in answering the question, really, children develop differently. So there are some how do I put it? For a girl child, the rate of progression or development of a girl child is in most cases different from that of a male child.
It's faster, right?
Sometimes you get it in between this way or that way. It depends.
Okay.
And even to same sexes, like male children, they develop differently. Now there are several factors that can actually come in. One, nutrition, environmental factors, diseases, normal diseases, and several other things. So it is just when the brain is fully formed to interpret what the eyes can see that you can say that, okay, this child is beginning to recognize this person or that person.
And that is all made possible because of the connection of the optical nerve.
Yes.
To the brain.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I hear the eye is the only part of within the eye, there's a part of the brain, I forget what it's called, the retinal something, that's a part of the brain that's an extension at the back of the eye. I don't know what that is.
Okay, basically, right, when light rays enter the eyes,
yes,
it forms a focus on the retina. The retina in turn sends impulses through the optic nerve, of course, to
the brain.
The brain. There's a specific area in the brain called the area 17, which is the visual cortex, responsible for translating what is seen by the eye as transferred by the retina to the visual cortex. So there is a specific part of the brain, particularly for vision, for seeing, which is the visual cortex or area 17.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'd like to go back to the exam room.
Yeah.
Why do they do that puff thing? And why do they have us look at all those dots, dot, and
okay. So there are different tests, so very many different tests. I can just run through them briefly. There is the visual acuity test I mentioned earlier that you have to test at near and far, specifically for refractive challenges. There are several others. There's the visual field testing. Now, for visual field testing, very similar to visual acuity test, it is to know how well each eye can see peripherally, that is to the sides.
Okay.
Visual acuity is straight up, but this is to the sides to know how well, is it up to 90 degrees? Is it up to 180 degrees that your peripheral vision, your side view can get? So there is also a chart for that for visual field testing. Now, this is another test.
Okay.
There are several other tests, so very many other tests. There's the, what we call it?
The one tonometry. The air in your eye, the air. What is that one for?
So there are certain practices. For instance, you can dilate the pupil. You can dilate the pupil of a child or an adult to gain access to be able to view the retina or behind the eye properly.
Okay.
So many things applies, like I said earlier, depending on the complaint. If the complaint will require maybe dilation of the pupil to assess the retina of the eye, then the doctor will have to dilate the pupil. But if it doesn't require that, if it's just a normal refractive complaint, then the focus is limited to just refractive approach in terms of the testing. Then there are several others. It could be a pathology, it could be a microorganism, a bacteria, fungi, or whatever. If that is the case, then the testing is also different. For instance, there's like corneal topography testing. This is basically to get the curve of the cornea, to test the curve of the cornea, because it determines the refractive status of the eye. And also, there are diseases like keratoconus, where the cornea is not properly formed, which in turn impairs vision if not detected and corrected. So,
And okay, I also want to ask you, and then we can move on from here. There's one more, because we go all the time, and I'm sure so many of our listeners, if you're like us, you go and you just get these things done, and we never ask my optometrist.
You just want to hear that everything is okay.
Yellow thing in my eye. That means we can't see, and I have to sit and wait until you can drive. What is that one for?
What's that?
Yellow. They put a yellow something. It's like your eyes look yellow. They put a drop, the eye drops in.
Okay, it depends. So there are so many eye drops, right? It depends on
what they do is a test, and it makes you almost partially blind for a little while.
Okay. So it's similar to what I'm saying, right? Depending on what you complained of. There's what do I call it? Medication is called atropine. There's atropine, there's pilocarpine. Now, this is for constriction of the pupil or dilation of the pupil. So depending on what you complain, that will determine the direction the doctor will go.
But
and also,
Daniel, I'm not going with a complaint. This is just standard.
You're going for a standard checkup.
Like
for a standard checkup. Yeah, for a standard checkup, they have to, for an aged patient, you must focus on the back of the eye, which is the retina. So it is most likely your pupil was dilated, which was the reason why you lose vision, most of your vision at that point when the eye drop gets into your eye, such that they can see the back of the retina.
Yeah.
Because without that dilation, you can't assess the posterior of the eye. So the idea is to widen the anterior of the eye such that they can view the retina. So most likely atropine should have been an atropine that was that they dropped into your eye.
Great.
Okay. There is a medication that we came across in the research. It's called astaxanthin, right? What is that for? What's the purpose?
If not that, what are some of the good things that people should use in there? Is like eye drops. Everybody knows Visine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but they just say use Visine for everything. Could you talk to us about some of the meds that we should or should not be using in our eyes? And yes, Frederick did mention the astaxanthin.
The astaxanthin is one of them.
I don't know if you know about that, or if
so there are some eye drops that are antibiotic eye drops. There are some with fungal properties. Now, there are so very many eye problems, eye diseases people encounter. There are several of them that are caused by pathological conditions, like we can look at the conjunctivitis. There are several branches of areas of conjunctivitis that one can actually look at. And at the end of the day, it is mostly caused by bacteria. So you look for antibiotic eye drops to resolve that issue. There are some eye drops that are mainly for fungal infections or for any other microorganism causing the effect. And basically, eye drops, medications that have approval, now, depending on the case, I can't particularly say this eye drop is good or this is bad.
Right.
Because you can be using the right eye drop for the wrong treatment, especially if you're self-medicating and we say it is bad. But if you go through the right channel, the right process of consulting an optometrist or an ophthalmologist, and they guide you, they prescribe that so eye drop based on the finding, the test, the eye examination, then if you get the eye drop, we know it is particularly meant for that ailment. But so many eye drops have come in different trade names. So many companies produce this or that. right? So it is left for the practitioner to say, okay, this is the direction to go. This is what we can actually use, right? Because there are several diseases. I can't just tell you that
Right,
for
exactly.
this,
Right.
I
use
appreciate that.
this, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes. And that's why you need to go to the doctor.
you have to. You
But
absolutely.
one of the common ones we hear about, um,
Cataract?
no, castor oil.
Oh, castor oil. Yes.
Castor oil.
Okay, that
Castor oil, good or bad?
I'll say good because
Okay.
yes, that is more like an ingredient of
Okay.
most eye drops.
Okay.
Yes, it provides it's like a lubricant,
Mhm.
right? Which helps in dry eyes.
Okay.
So sometimes people apply it on the skin around their eyes, like the eyelid. It helps to relieve dry eye syndrome, eye strain, eye pain, and all of that. So good. I'll say good. Very good, actually.
Now we saw
But you
during the research, I was looking at a video where the person was actually putting the castor oil directly into the eye. Is that a good practice, or should you just put it on the lid?
are underneath.
It should be on the lead, but except the person got that advice from
From a doctor.
from a doctor. That there could be a reason for that. But personally, I would say it should be on the lead because you don't want to apply it directly just like that. Yeah, it could be an ingredient of an eye drop, of the eye drops, but there's always a proportion where a quantity which it wouldn't exceed that will be in the eye drop, because sometimes you don't want to, I wouldn't want to use the word, but I still have to, you don't want to overdose on
Yes.
these substances, because there's always the good side effects and adverse effects, but around the eyes should do the job.
Okay,
and
I
not directly.
appreciate that. What you said is so important because there's so many brands. When you look at castor oil, you have the strong Jamaican black castor oil.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to put that
Nobody
in
wants
your
to put
eye.
that in there.
But I
Right.
know if you rub it on your stomach, it can help you lose belly fat, you know? So
Yeah.
I guess you have, and then again, like so many things, we don't know how they're manufactured.
Yes. You don't know the
We don't-
process that it goes through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I guess it's just be careful. Okay. Now I was hearing research says 2.2 billion people globally have some form of eye problem, some form of eye issue. It says 12 million people who are over the age of 40 have some form of issues, and 3 million have some sort of glaucoma. And that younger children, younger people are beginning to experience eye problems sooner. Now, we've heard of those charities where they collect eyeglasses and they take them to a country where, it's more difficult to get them. How is it possible with all the things going around? How is it possible that they can use a prescription eyeglass and donate to somebody? There's charity. Does that kind of thing work? Does that kind of charity work when we collect the glasses and send them off to a developing nation?
Yes, it does. It does 100% of the time. So this is what happens. While I was in Nigeria, we used to go for community outreaches, and we go with mostly already made eyeglasses. Because we don't go in depth into testing, but we have our basic test kits.
Okay.
So when you test the patient, whether young or old, and they present with a refractive condition, maybe myopia or hyperopia, long or short-sightedness. And these glasses you're talking about, most of them they are prescription glasses with a specific power. Some are minus lenses, some are plus lenses, right? So when we test the patient and their refractive status is same as the refractive power in the eyeglass, we just easily prescribe such an eyeglass
Okay.
to patient. Yes. So although they're already made, so the point is you don't have to test first before you go get an optician to get an eyeglass. No, these already made glasses, once we get a matching eye power, So this eye needs a minus 0.75 diopters eyeglass. We have the eyeglass as donated. We just prescribe it direct. So because we don't have the time. Now, most of these outreaches are in rural communities. So we go 2-3 days, we stay there, we see as much as we can, patients as we can see. Some that have very challenging or delicate problems, we refer them back to the hospital. And those we can actually just really treat, help. If it's recommending eyeglasses, giving them routine drugs, whatever, we just directly take care of them. So,
for people, sorry, go ahead.
yes, absolutely, we can use the glasses. Yes,
Okay,
those
so for
already
people
prescribed.
listening, they can, when you see those folks collecting to send the glasses away, it's a good thing to do. All right.
Yeah.
Because I always wondered about that, you know? So thank you for answering that so clearly. No, Frederick?
Yeah,
You
no,
had prescriptions once and you never use them.
because I don't think I need
And
it.
then the eyes just came back to
Yeah.
normal. He is such, I don't even know why he bothers
No,
going anywhere because he does never do what they say.
But the reason I simply refuse to use it is because when I first tried them on, I felt as though the muscles behind my neck was pulling, was drawing. And then when I went back to the doctor and he said that that's a normal reaction.
Yeah.
Right? But I just didn't, I thought, it's not necessary for me.
Can doctors make mistakes? I mean, they make
No,
mistakes.
I don't.
No, it's not necessarily a mistake, right?
No, I don't think it was a mistake.
Yes,
It's just that
so this is what
because it's the
happens,
first
right?
time I'm going to be wearing them.
Yeah.
I got that reaction and I didn't like it, and so I stopped wearing it.
And then he doesn't need them anymore.
Yeah.
So as long as you can see clearly,
Yeah.
at fine, yeah.
Clearly.
You don't necessarily need it because it comes with the eyeglass will always in a bid for your eyes to get used to them.
Yeah.
You will always feel some of these effects, maybe headache, maybe pulling.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah, so because your eye is trying to adjust.
Yeah.
But if you see clearly, eat
Right.
healthy, exercise, you're good to go.
Now, I want to get to water. We know how important water is for everything, hydration.
Yeah.
How important it is it for proper eye functioning?
Okay, so just like food, food, water is very important. I look at diseases or ailments as a function of what we eat, what we take in. Is it good food? Is it clean water? The things we get into our body is what will in turn tell how healthy we will become. So water, like we already know, it is everything. Water is basically everything, right? And it is very, very important, very extremely important to eye health, just like the body. Because if you have underlying medical conditions, it in turn tells on the eye, it affects the eye. So you want to keep the body generally healthy so you don't pressure the eyes. So water is very good, very good.
So carrots, I want to talk about carrots because we sent out a video and it says carrots. Everybody says, what's for eyes? Carrots. Is that a myth, or is carrot the best thing for your eyes in terms of food nutrition? I know it has the vitamin A, or is there other things that comes to mind that it's really not carrots? Not that carrot isn't good, but what else? Is avocados? I don't know what else are some of the things. I know last week you did talk about the nutrition, but we went through it so quickly, and it's so important that if we could just bring up some of that again.
Okay. Yeah, it is a universal knowledge that carrot is very important for the eye because it has beta carotenes. There are several other, in fact, most of the food we eat, most of them actually play a role in eye health, right? But there are specific fruits, food like avocado, you mentioned that, like egg. There are specific vegetables that further help in eye health. The idea is the constituent. What is this so thing composed of? When you look at fruits rich in vitamin, of course, most fruits are rich in vitamin C, but you look at fruits rich in vitamin A and vitamin C, the likes of watermelon, has a vitamin A component. The likes of orange citrus is mostly vitamin C. And yes, vitamin C is very good for eye health, right? Because of course it helps build the immune system, which in turn fights germs or microorganisms entering the body, which will keep the eye generally healthy. So most fruits are actually good, but specifically carrot stands out. It has because it has beta carotenes. There's avocado, there's eggs and all the rest of them, but fruits are generally good for the eye.
One of the things you hear about so often is lutein. I haven't done a lot of the research on lutein, but I think you can't talk about the eyes without talking about lutein, apparently. And then could you explain some of that to us, and then we'll take a station break?
Yeah, we'll go to email after this question. Yeah, go ahead.
Please, any questions from last week we didn't treat, please. It is important that we look at them. Anyone at all we didn't treat from last week, please, you can bring them forward so we answer them. So we carry all listeners along.
Yes, okay. Something we had not talked about was, sorry, I'll let you talk about lutein, but we'll also talk about calcium phosphate, which is a building up of crystals in the eyes. I don't know if that's related to one of the big diseases, glaucoma, or one of them. I'm not sure, but perhaps we can think about that after some emails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, lutein is just like I was explaining about carrots.
Okay.
Is a pigment of carotenoid. It's that same family. So we get some food or what have you that are of the same family of the beta carotenes, which is so any food rich in carotene is actually very good for the eyes. So lutein is a typical example of a breakdown of carrot, which in turn gives you carotene, which is very important for eye health. So it's just about same as carrot, but with a different name.
From the bottom.
Okay, folks. Boy, so much information. The eye, I didn't realize the eye is such a complex organ, and there's so much. We can go on with this for the next year, and we still haven't covered everything else.
Sure, the scientists are still not have the handle on everything, right?
You're listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with the Coxes. We're discussing eye care with Dr. Danielle Kalu Obuma, and we're streaming live on Reality Radio 101 and also on YouTube. If you missed last week's conversation that we had with Dr. Danielle, you can always look at the YouTube and you can get it there. You can get all of our past shows rather on YouTube. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. This broadcast is very, very important for you to do that so that we can help to build our audience. You can also find us on Spotify.
Okay, and I wanted to throw in a liquid green ad as well.
Oh, let me hear this one.
Okay.
Let me hear this one. This is a big surprise. Go for it, girl.
I have people all the time saying, you never talk about liquid green. You never talk about liquid green. So guess what? We are preparing. Tomorrow we have a shipment out to Winners and HomeSense. And this is our liquid green products, which is the home of natural cleaning products.
The Bentley of all cleaning products.
Bentley of cleaners.
Yeah, you got to put that in.
We're going to ask you for the next few weeks, if you go into a Winners or HomeSense across Canada, just go into the store and say, hi, do you carry liquid green?
Because we don't know which store, we don't know which store they're putting it in.
Multi-purpose cleaner. Or do you carry liquid green fruit and veggie wash?
Okay.
And make sure, please, this is a campaign because they will only work with us if we're known.
Yeah.
And how do you get known?
Get the word out, folks. Yeah, help us get the word out. That's basically what you're doing. Okay,
so I've done my
for an ad-lib ad, that wasn't bad at all. You can also, if you're in the Durham region, you can also get liquid green products at Blowers Pharmacy. That's in Ajax, 40 Blowers. You can also find us
downtown.
Yeah, if you're downtown, you can also find us at Four Winds Roots 4 Winds Pharmacy. I think that's where Keel and Finch, I'm in that area.
Okay.
And in Cabbagetown, we're in Cabbagetown there at the Beastery. Bestiary, sorry. And you can also get us at All Reptiles, right, on Kennedy Road. So there are a number of places you can get our products. So
Okay, go to our website, liquidgreenproducts.com.
and that was an ad lib. That was an ad lib ad.
Great.
Okay. We're gonna start off with our email. This is one from Catherine.
Yeah.
And Catherine said, hello to Fred and Janet. So glad this guest is on your radio show again today. He was amazing last week. I learned quite a bit of information. Looking forward to the show. And that's from Kathy.
Kathy, so are we. We're very happy he agreed to come back.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pay him, you know?
Don't worry.
Yes.
The check is in the mail. Here's one from Bill, and he says, hi, Fred. Just caught that. Edutainment. Great word. Genius.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm surprised, Bill, you're just catching that. He says it every week.
Yeah.
You need to listen carefully. Okay, great.
And here's a question for the doctor, and this one is from Ray. Ray says, hi to the Coxes. What exactly is glaucoma?
Okay, so we will come back to that because the three big ones, glaucoma, cataracts, and twitching or something.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
When we come back, we're going to ask you to help us to explain those again.
And Steve says, hello, Coxes, listening to you again. This is a great subject. Thank you for that. And Cindy says, hi today. Where's Dr. Daniel from? Is he here in Canada? Thank you.
Okay, so Dr. Daniel originates from Nigeria, and he is an optician there. 10 years experience.
Licensed,
yes. Huh?
Optometrist.
Yeah, he said optician.
Oh, I did. Oh, no, not optician. I know that by now. And he doesn't practice in Canada.
Not as yet.
As yet, because you got to work on those to get the certification.
Yeah.
Canadian, but I know you're busy doing promotions. Dr. Daniel is such a genius. He does so many things. He can actually fill a stadium with over 80,000 people to watch a concert.
And that's
when I say he's in media and entertainment,
yes.
That's the flip side of this young doctor. So we're very privileged. I find that with a lot of Nigerians. I always like to big up my Nigerian friends. They're so multi-talented. Of Jamaicans, of course, but not Guyanese.
Anyway, I have to clear my throat because I don't want to give the answer that I would like to give. So here's an email from Erica, and Erica says, is cataract surgery painful? And when we get back to the doctor, we let him answer that. And I'm going to go through these last couple here. Joe says, hello, Coxes and the doctor. What is the best first aid for an eye injury? If something gets into the eye, I guess that's what he's talking about, right? And we'll let the doctor answer that. You write that down, okay? And I think this is another question here. This one is from Joyce. Hey, Coxes, do you carry liquid green? I will do it. Ask about. You want to read that?
Okay, Joyce. Ask about your products when I shop.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's in relation to the ad lib ad that you did just now. Yeah, you can go to any winner store and ask for it. We don't know which store it's in, but you can get, if you're in the Durham region, you can pick it up at Blower's Pharmacy.
No, this is what when I asked to ask if you go into a Winners or a Home Sense and ask.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joyce. You said you will do it. I'm gonna hold you and all our current listeners across Canada to do that. Go into the stores and say, hey, do you carry liquid green multi-purpose cleaner and fruit and vegetable wash? We just want to find out where the heck they're putting these products. Yeah. Okay.
If they're keeping it in their storehouse, in their warehouse, whatever.
Thank you so much.
We want to know. Okay, so now let's get back to today's conversation with Dr. Daniel. And the first question, I think it was if cataract surgery was painful. Right.
We have quite a few things to go through, right? So cataracts, is that surgery painful, Dr. D?
Basically, when a surgery of that magnitude is being carried out, the eye is first of all anesthetized. So the area around the eye, it becomes numb. numb and you don't get to feel any pain, you don't get to feel nothing. It's just removal of the lens of the eye, and what in turn happens is an intraocular lens, a high-powered intraocular lens is inserted into the eye because the original lens is bad. So when patient has cataracts, if you look at their eyes, you see like it is whitish. And when it appears that way, you know that light rays can no longer pass through the eye. So yes, it is not exactly painful because the area around the eye will be numb during that operation. So,
but like the teeth, when you go for an extraction or a filling or something, it's not painful while you're there because of the anesthesia.
Yeah.
But when it wears off and it's gone, then you feel the pain. Would that be the same with cataracts?
I would say it is a little bit similar.
Okay.
Because, yeah, during the operation, it is not exactly painful, but when it is done, because the eye has to be cut open, right? So it needs healing, so you're going to feel a whole lot of things like sandy sensation, as if there's sand inside your eye, you're going to feel like a little bit of maybe pains,
You
right?
probably get a jabbing pain once in a while.
Yeah, you feel just some random things like that, but after a while, it's still going to fade up. So it's going to be, after the operation, you're going to feel a couple of things that will not be regular, what you've been feeling regularly. So it's not painful, but yes, you feel
Some discomfort.
Some discomfort, basically.
Okay. Before you go into the glaucoma one, and the easier one perhaps was the best first aid if something gets in your eyes. Usually people just go water. Is that the best thing, or is there something else you'd recommend?
Yeah, so the idea is irrigation to flush the foreign object from the eyes. So in most cases, people just water, right? To like try to eliminate whatever it is that got into the eyes, which we use saline basically for irrigation purposes. So it is a little bit similar to water, but quite different. But as a first point of before you get to maybe a practitioner, as a first result, what you do to like at least save yourself from that immediate discomfort. Yeah, people do that. You can use
That's why in most factory workspaces there are eye wash stations where that special solution. If something happens to get into the eye, you go to that station.
What about if you get punched in the eye?
Then you just
You're
cry.
in a fight and you get punched in the face.
So now this will lead us into another conversation.
Okay.
One of the major causes of glaucoma is eye pressure.
Okay.
So people who have an accident or get into a fight or just something, right? And there is a heavy heat on the eye, it is one of the first causes of glaucoma. Glaucoma in itself is just a damage to the optic nerve of the eye. If the optic nerve of the eye is damaged, then vision signal impulses cannot be transmitted to the visual cortex or what have you, and that eye in turn begins to lose vision or completely loses vision.
Wow.
Yes.
So I guess that answers the question.
Yes.
Yes, but there are other causes, right, of glaucoma. But glaucoma is basically a group of diseases, a group of circumstances, the first being high pressure. There are the likes of hypertension, which is high blood pressure, can also predispose one to that. So anything that leads to damage to the optic nerve causes glaucoma.
So is this what you call macular degeneration? Is that just everything that causes the eyes to get worse?
So macular degeneration, now macular degeneration is different, right? But it is mostly age-related. So we have age-related macular degeneration. So as the macula is the posterior of the eye, more like the retinal region. So as an individual continues to age, the macula itself continues to degenerate because, of course, as a result of aging, it's not as active as it used to be, and it has grown past development stage. It is now failing. So when the posterior of the eye begins to like depreciate and all of that, you get to suffer from a little bit of vision loss. So there is you can link it to hypertension. You can even also link it to diabetes. As long as these factors or health challenges are underlying, it can lead to degeneration of the macula, but mostly age-related. It may not even necessarily be any ailment, but when the nerves become weak, they get tired, they are not as functional as they used to be. That's basically macular degeneration.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
as Frederick says, if we were to answer everything on the eyes, we would be here for the next 100 years, and we still couldn't complete
It's
it.
such a complex
But
organ.
if we're talking about the eyes, one of the most endearing things is eye color.
Oh,
And
yes.
I just, I was looking at something during the week, and it was talking about the statistics, like brown eyes,
Yeah.
the most common of all eyes, right? Of all eye color. And I think the rarest eye color, I wrote it down somewhere.
Great.
Not gray, it was amber. Amber was the rarest of all. But then we have greens and blues
And
and
you have red.
red eyes.
Yep.
There's no such thing as black eyes, though. Because on the passport they always ask you eye color, brown, whatever.
Yeah.
It's never black
No.
because it's dark. But how do we get? I don't know if you can throw any light on this.
Okay,
Get eye color.
yeah, it's about genes, right? The eye color is actually gotten from the pigment called melanin, just like our color, right?
Melanin.
The melanin determines the eye color because it is a pigment specifically for color. So depending on an individual's genes, that will determine the pigments of their melanin, which will in turn tell their skin color and their eye color. So
Oh,
the melanin controls
that's
that.
what it is.
So
the more melanin you have, the browner the eye is.
Yeah, so those variations in melanin in the genes of an individual, like someone can come from so place, and people particular to that region have a specific eye color. So it's just more of
okay.
individual.
Wow.
Now I understand. Because now they're saying even like with red hair, like so many of the Scottish, there's an area in Scotland where so many people have the red hair and they tend to have green eyes.
Yeah.
Then if you have blue eyes, chances are your skin is thinner and therefore
You're probably blonde.
well, I don't know about the blonde, but you will be subjected to like sunburn and the eye irritation, more eye problems, depending on. So I had no idea that colors of the eyes make such a difference. And it was really funny. The one thing I was listening to, it says if you have brown eyes, you tend to be more trustworthy.
Okay, that took me unawares.
The world are very trustworthy, right?
I don't know who conducted that study, but
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine the relationship
I
between
know.
being trustworthy and eye colors. But
I
before we
promise.
even run out of time, I would like to highlight a few things. Now, especially to the young ones, there's a thing called screen time, which in turn leads to digital eye strain, just like we already know. The prolonged periods of usage of devices, computers, laptops, phones, handsets, with continuous exposure to blue light can lead to digital eye strain. And that digital eye strain can in turn cause blurred vision, headache, eye strain, it can lead to dry eyes, several things, right? To especially younger people. So it is advised that people, children, young adults, even aged people limit their screen time.
And you need to look at a mountain, right? You need to look far away at things. Every now and again, you need to look away and make sure you're seeing things in the distance, not just the close-up things, correct?
Yes, to help for balance. You want to balance the eyes. And it is also to at least in a day have 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of sunlight. At least expose your eyes to sunlight every day, at least 2 to 3 hours, right? It helps the eyes. Yeah.
Great. And there's other things, but I think we've come to the end because I know, Frederick, I think you want to recommend or
Yeah,
talk
there's a
about
there's a
something.
specific supplement that I would like to recommend, and this is something that we ourselves use, and it's a product that we carry on our website, and it's Blueberry Eye Care. And the reason I'm recommending it is because of the ingredients. It has some phenomenal ingredients, things like blueberry extract, eye bright, ginkgo biloba extract, lutein, which you always ask me, about lutein, lactoflavin, taurine, grapeseed extract, vitamin A, and of course, zinc. And these are all ingredients that help the eye to function properly. They prevent and they improve the condition of the eye disorders such as failing vision, senile glaucoma, cataract, presbyopia, hemorrhage of the retina, and all those stuff. And it's recommended for just about everybody, right? Because it improves and increases visual acuity. People who work under adverse environment, for instance, people who work in the IT industry, individuals that are on the computer or the laptops, like the doctor mentioned, they need to take this product. People who need to prevent or improve eye disorders, you need to protect your eyes. So regardless of your condition, it is important for you to take care of the eyes, and the product is called Blueberry Eye Care. How do you get it? How do you get it? It's simple. Go to, excuse me, go to liquidgreenhealthshow.com. That's liquidgreenhealthshow.com. And under the supplements section, click on Green World, right? liquidgreenhealthshow.com. Under the supplements section, click on Green World, and you're going to find Blueberry Eye Care.
Okay.
You can order it there.
Wonderful. I use it. I take two a day.
Yeah.
Dr. Daniel Kalu Obuma. Obama.
She did it again. She did that last week.
I just want to say thank you so much.
This was so informative.
But before we leave, the future for eye care is bright.
Yeah.
The future is bright because I heard that some of the scientists, I think there's a group from Harvard that's actually trying to grow eyes in a petri dish. And that means they say if you can live for every 4 years that you live, because of the development in the AI and the technology and all the scientific things that's been, the discoveries and the stuff they're working on. If you can live for 4 years, every time you make an additional 4 years, there's another year of things that they're coming up with that's going to help. Not just for eyes, but for our entire bodies, right? For our entire bodies. So AI
for a new eye.
AI for the future.
For a new eye.
So Dr. D, thank you.
Thank you ever so much. This has been wonderful, a wonderful conversation. And sometime in the future, we certainly will have you back because the conversation continues. As you mentioned earlier, the eye is such a complex organ that you cannot describe it in 1 or 2 conversations. It's an ongoing thing.
I'm happy we did talk about diabetes and the eyes, but then we have that will be another show when we talk about diabetes and we'll focus on the eyes. So namaste. Thank you so
thank you. And
it's always a pleasure.
Right. And remember, folks, good health is the core of human joy and overall well-being. Its influence is profound, extending beyond personal vitality and significantly bolstering prosperity and economic advancement. Thus, investing in our health is akin to investing in a brighter future and more prosperous future for ourselves and the communities. I know I made a mistake, but it's okay. And the communities we inhabit. So, until next Sunday, same time, same station, prioritize your well-being, folks. This is Janet and Fred saying, let's stay healthy on Reality Radio 101.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.